Hey everyone, sorry I can't be there today, but I wanted to take a moment here to go over or review what we'll probably do in class tomorrow. So this is going to be a collaborative drawing. We're going to use those skills from the value scales with lines that you've been working on to work together for a collaborative piece. And that will be our next piece. So first of all, we're going to go back here. Remember Phil Hansen, the artist? We want to look at how does this art look different close versus far away. And as you notice, when we're super close, as we talked about in class, those value scales are right there. The number of times that a mark or a line was made in one area, right, and how close they are to each other or how far apart, that's the thing that decides whether it looks like it's really dark or really light to us, or somewhere in between. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. So why are we going to use a collaborative technique? Collaboration, what does it mean? Right? What are the advantages of working together on a common creative goal? These are the questions I want you to try to keep in mind. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we working together? Are there people out in the world that work together? Why do they do that? How is it helpful? Okay, so with our value scales with lines and this idea of collaboration and that everybody in this classroom is a valued member of our community and has a voice and has a place, we're going to start off with a collaborative portrait drawing. So we're actually going to create a portrait all together of a famous artist. And the finished piece will look something like this. Now, take a moment to look. What do you notice about the artists and how they created value in each one of these pieces? One is more similar to what we've been working with our value scales versus the other. Can you figure out which one it is? All right, the one on the left, right? The one on the left, when you look in all these little boxes, you can see that it has a little bit more to do with value than this one on the right does. So you zoom in a little bit, we can see each one of these squares, right? So this was a collaborative project where each student created their own square. And within that square, I can actually see a value scale right here. There's only one circle on this side, which makes it really light. 2, 3, and then it starts getting more and more until I can't even tell how many of those circles are right in this lower edge here, right? So that is something that will give us that value, the light areas, the middle tone areas, and the dark areas that we're looking for. I can zoom in a little bit more. Notice some of these squares, how they represent light areas versus dark areas, right? The mark that's being made or the line that's being made, there's more of them and they're closer together. Here's a couple other examples. Do notice that it looks best when the lines going from one square into the other match up. It looks a little bit off, not too bad, but a little bit off when those lines don't match up. And then if we look closer at the scale and the squares, you'll notice how the value scales are represented in each of those squares. Can you identify which value from these value scales is in which area, which larger shape or larger area within the square? So what we're going to end up doing next class is we have an artist already that has been selected. Then you're going to complete a puzzle. So you're each going to get a piece of this puzzle and you're going to try to put it together. So I have a picture of the artist that I cut up already. You're going to each get a piece and then you're going to try to assemble it to reveal who the artist is. Then you're going to each take one of those squares and you're going to redraw it on a larger square. Right? So we're going to increase the size a little bit. We're going to do some observation on how, and we're going to add those values into that square, and then we're going to assemble the drawings together. Okay, so we'll go over a little bit more on how we do this, but just a real quick overview. You're going to draw comparable lines on each one of your squares. We're going to look for spatial relationships. We're going to add our value, and then we're going to tweak, and then we're going to collaborate. And we'll end up looking, things like this will probably be our results. Okay, so this is just a very quick overview of what's to come for tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Okay, and if you want to go back, I will post this slide to Schoology as well. Great. Thanks so much.